Hey guys, and welcome back once again to this, the fourth in the series My Tiny Studio. This is where you get to go with me behind the scenes as I take you through a detailed making of the 7 compositions that constitute this series. You know, it's so nice to see all of those happy smiling faces out there. Now, if you're a regular visitor to this channel, I trust that you already have a glass of your favorite beverage in hand. If not, then it's most likely because you haven't had the opportunity to view the first 3 videos of this series yet, namely Priscilla, Message in a Bottle, and Forbidden Fruit. You know, right after this video, it'd be a good time if you've got a couple of minutes to go and check those out as well. Before we get started today, I'd like to give a huge shout out to those aspiring photographers and photo artists, as well as those serious art collectors who have already reached out to me in this channel. You know, without your input, motivation, support, this project really just wouldn't be worth it. So I thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so this is now becoming rather addictive. Having just complained about my muse visiting me at odd early hours of the morning, I woke up yesterday after a solid night's sleep, and then suddenly panic started to set in. I needed to create art, but what? Did my muse get the message? And will she come back? Yeah, somehow I think I have a female muse, by the way. Is that even possible? I decided to take a trip to the local Oriental Plaza and do some window shopping. You see, one can find anything at the China Mall, from headache tablets to small Barbie doll outfits, fishnet stockings, and yes, spark plug spanners, even the latest fad, namely those overpriced fidget spinners for kids who have forgotten how to entertain themselves. And all of these items tightly packed next to each other on the same shelf, no larger than 2 feet wide. I knew that if I had walked around long enough, something was bound to capture my attention. And then it all happened. Tucked away in an obscure corner of the tiny overstocked shop, a packet of 12 imitation light bulbs called out to me. As I bent down to secure my treasure, a young lass suggested that this was exactly what she was looking for, and gave me a huge smile in anticipation of me handing over the base concept of my next tiny studio project to her. I paused, and then I asked her what she intended using them for, to which she responded, and I quote, "Oh, it's for a party. I want to use them for shot glasses." I suggested that she was far too young to drink alcohol, and I marched over to the pay point with goods in hands and made a quick getaway. As they say, possession is 9/10 of the law. Passers-by stared at me as I stood outside the shop, frozen with a dozen imitation light bulbs in hand, like a statue, pondering just how exactly I was going to bring this next project to life. And then it all came together. More shopping required. I needed puzzle pieces, not small ones, but big wooden ones. Check. I needed some Christmas lights. Check. Spray paint. Check. Black cardboard. Check again. And oh yes, another 500mm square box to house all the bits and pieces in for my new project. And so the non-stop 18-hour process began. What was cool was that the imitation light bulbs had screw cap tops, which enabled me to drill a small hole and feed the little Christmas lights through there, but also add some strange liquid. But more about that later. And now let me tell you a little bit about that clock dial, which has a twist in the tail. As I was carrying in the various bits and pieces, I managed to dislodge the large clock from the wall. It came smashing down to the ground, falling to pieces. Not the first time, I might add. But since the clock no longer worked anyway, I decided to salvage the clock face and incorporate it into the composition. And now for the story behind the strange liquid. As I started capturing the images of the final setup, I noticed that I was not getting enough pop from the light bulbs. I thought I would add some methylated spirits to each bulb, but I couldn't find any at the local shop. I then remembered that antifreeze used for motor vehicle radiators had a fluorescent glow, and promptly grabbed the bottle off the shelf. 2 capfuls added to each light bulb, and 20 minutes later, I managed to eventually wipe the smile off my face as I knew that this would do the trick and would make a huge difference to the final look and feel of the end result. In my journey as a photo artist, there are 4 very important lessons that I've learned along the way, and I'd like to take this opportunity to share them with you right now. Lesson number 1. Go out as often as possible and shoot as many images as you can. These excursions can even be conducted in your backyard or local park. It's really not necessary to travel to exotic locations to capture epic imagery. Practice, practice, practice. As our golfer Gary Player once said, the more I practice, the luckier I get. Lesson number 2. Build your stash. By this I'm referring to the creation of an extensive library of stock photography that you can call upon at some point in time down the line when you're looking for that specific and unique image to add value to your composition. Allow me to briefly share the following example with you right now. In one of my earlier compositions entitled Banana Split, where I photographed family members against a green screen, I was able to bank these images in my library for future possible use. A few months later, I needed an image of a young girl trying to break out of a confined space, and immediately remembered the snapshot of our granddaughter McKenna, which I quickly located and positioned into the bubble of my composition entitled Trapped. And then more recently, McKenna once again made a guest appearance, as can be seen in the light bulb of this particular composition. Now for lesson number 3. If you are serious about creating photo art, I strongly advise you to implement a proper and/or catalog filing system to ensure that you can quickly retrieve a specific image as and when you need it. There is nothing more time-consuming and frustrating when you have to page through gigabytes of data to find something. After learning the hard way, I eventually implemented Lightroom and added keywords to my images to speed up the search and find process. A minute now will save you an hour later. And finally, lesson number 4. Implement a proper and effective multi-level backup system for all your data. This must include an off-site copy of your database. It is extremely heartbreaking to suddenly realize that that beautiful set of imagery that you captured is lost forever because you inadvertently deleted your only copy that you had. Ask me, I speak from experience. If these 4 pearls of wisdom are all you take home and implement from watching today's video, then the 10 or so minutes you have just invested in yourself will pay handsome dividends down the line. Now go out and capture something great. Well, not right now, but as soon as you have finished watching this video. I had not intended creating a second composition based on the imitation light bulbs, but given the tremendous effort and time taken to build a set, I wanted to see if I could get more mileage from it. Most of the various components used here were sourced from the previous project, with the exception of some chrome beads which replaced the antifreeze liquid. I also added a few extra small imitation light bulbs, as well as a new larger light bulb which is placed in center stage of the composition. You will see and notice that the clock face has been relegated to the dustbin. Time to go. Excuse the pun. As in the composition Light, where I included my granddaughter McKenna, the girl in the light bulb, so too I have a special guest model in this composition. Yes, the ninja is none other than our little grandson Hayden. The image of Hayden was captured during our visit to Melbourne in November 2015. Yes, Hayden, your check is in the mail. Once again, this was a challenging, time-consuming, brain-racking yet creative and rewarding photo artistry project that I had tackled. I'm also now having second thoughts about my muse and how she feels about my recent complaints regarding her middle-of-the-night visits. I take it all back. You're welcome to call whenever you see fit. I trust that you have found the making of Light most informative and inspiring. I look forward to sharing my next tiny studio project with you soon. USA-based art enthusiasts are invited to connect with me on Art Boya, where you are able to order exquisite curated prints of my photo art to showcase on your walls. Material choices include watercolor, canvas, acrylic and brush metal. Delivery is currently only available in the USA, but will also be distributed to other geographic regions soon. Likewise, South African-based art collectors are invited to connect with me on Digital Gallery, where you will be able to make a sound investment in one or more of the 100+ artworks currently on display in this gallery. Choose your preferred framing option, size, and confirm your online payment, and you will receive your ready-to-hang investment within 7 days, delivered right to your front door. And hey guys, do you want to learn how to create stunning digital art just like this? Why not take the plunge and register for the Sebastian Michaels Photoshop Artistry online course, just like I did some 5 years ago. You'll be able to find more detailed information in this regard in the show notes below. Now, if you found this video interesting, then you know what to do. Zap that subscribe button and ring that bell to make sure that you receive instant notification from me the very second I release my next YouTube video. Also, feel free to check out my show notes, where you can view more of my creativity located on my various social media links, including my PhotoArt by Athol website.